Maker's Mark has announced the arrival of a limited edition Maker's 46 Cask Strength, a barrel-proof expression of their popular 94 proof finished bourbon. Well, it's starting to show up around the country, and it's today's review on the Mash and Drum. What is up, everybody? I am Jason C. Welcome to the Mash and Drum. If you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button below. Please hit that like button and hit that bell notification so you know when I'm putting out a new video. Maker's Mark introduced Maker's 46 in 2010 as the first new expression ever for the brand, setting the stage for the Maker's Mark wood finishing series by using seared French oak staves to add another layer of flavor to their popular wheated recipe bourbon. Since then, they've expanded their offerings to the Maker's Mark Private Select, allowing bars, restaurants, liquor stores, and bourbon groups to choose from a variety of staves to finish their own barrel of bourbon and craft a variety of different flavor profiles. Last year, the distillery also introduced Maker's RC6, which was the first ever limited edition expression from their brand in their wood finishing series. Now, originally, Maker's Mark made Maker's 46 Cask Strength available at the gift shop, but now Maker's is celebrating the 10th anniversary of the launch of Maker's 46 Cask Strength. This is bottled at 109.6 proof. It's starting to arrive on shelves around the country for a retail price of about 60 bucks. All right, so I'm a huge fan of Maker's 46. It's probably my favorite offering in the core lineup for Maker's Mark. I love the French oak staves, what it does, gives it that spice to it. Always wanted to know what it tasted like from a cask strength standpoint. And you know, let's give it up for Maker's Mark. Not only do they have their Maker's Mark Cask Strength regular bourbon, but now they have a Maker's Mark 46 Cask Strength. I know it's a limited edition, but hey, at least we have another chance to enjoy another barrel-proof or cask strength wheated bourbon, which there are not a lot on the market that are available. So let's get into the nose, see what we get here. This is vanilla ice cream topped with bananas. I'm getting a very rich banana note in here. Almost like a banana split, like if you ever had a banana split dessert. There's definitely some rich caramel. There's some bright fruits here that I'm used to getting with Maker's. You get kind of a peach apricot type note. Yeah, I'm surprised at how much banana I'm getting. It's almost like an Old Forester type nose. You know, they're very well known for having a little bit of banana in their whiskeys. And this one, yeah, definite banana note here. So those French oak baking spices are definitely there. You get a nice cinnamon note. You can definitely smell the wheat grain in there. There's a definite punch of wheat in there too. Just a really enjoyable nose. I like the balance of it. It's got some oak, it's got some sweet, it's got some banana going on, it's got some baking spices. So far, really good nose up front. Let's go to the palate. Here we go. Ooh, that is good. That is just brown butter cooked down, almost like to the standpoint of making like a toffee candy. Butterscotch. Yeah, I'm loving the finish on this, a good spice. We're gonna compare it to the regular Maker's 46 and also the RC6 in a little bit, just to see how they all compare. But yeah, I really like the balance of this so far. Very sweet up front. You're getting the nice, the spiciness on the back end. But from what I remember of the regular 46, this definitely is coming across a little bit different here. Let's go for another sip. Getting a little bit of that banana note on the palate. Not overly done though. This is like warm banana bread drizzled with some caramel on top, with some, you know, you got those peaches, the fruits. And then all of a sudden on the back end, man, it just goes into like this, like tobacco, cinnamon, like spice thing going on in the back end. I'm really liking the balance of this. It's really nice, but again, different than I expected from the Maker's 46, which I get a lot of chocolate from. This one I'm not getting that big punch of chocolate like I get from the regular Maker's 46. Let's go for one last sip and then we'll compare. Yeah, so this actually drinks lighter than 109.6. You know, maybe it's the wheated bourbon profile. Maybe that wheat's really making it kind of a smoother drinking experience. But yeah, it drinks a lot easier. Right when you get to about the third sip, just really all the sweetness and the vanilla and the caramel, that toffee note, the hint of banana, the spice comes out on the back end. I think really the star of the show on this is the mid palate. The mid palate and probably right when the finish starts. That's where this bourbon I think really shines. Once this hits mid palate and you know those apricot notes come out and the banana and the caramel, and then all of a sudden right when the cinnamon tobacco type flavor profile starts, right on the back end, it leaves a nice lingering spice, but this isn't a super long finish. I think this is more of a medium finish. Again, I think it's drinking lighter than the 109.6 proof, but let's compare it to the Maker's 46 and also the RC6 and see how they stack up. All right, so I got all three here. Here's the regular Maker's 46 you could find pretty much anywhere on the shelf. Here's the limited edition 46 Cask Strength, and we have the special release from last year, the RC6 from their wood finishing series. So let's try the regular 46 first, because I think just by memory these should be pretty different. Wow, they are. When you compare them, there's that banana syrup barrel char coming out of the Maker's 46 Cask Strength that is just so different from the regular Maker's 46. I mean, maybe there is a banana note on the 46. And I've just never noticed it before until I had it at Cask Strength. Now it's kind of stuck in my head. Yeah, very rich in caramel vanillas here on the 46. The regular one, again, I get that little bit of a chocolate note. Let's go for a sip here. Yeah, this is more like a milk chocolate, like a chocolate cake with, you know, maybe then, you know, you throw some black pepper on top, a little bit of a lighter caramel sauce, where this is coming through as dark banana bread, like banana bread that's been in the oven just a little bit too long with some caramel sauce on it. Yeah, then you throw some sliced peaches on there. And then once you're done eating that, you have a cigar. At the very end. This is really good. The 46 Cask Strength, it's just, I think this, when it's a little bit more proof down, you get some more chocolate notes in it. You definitely get some stone fruits. I feel like I am getting a little bit of a banana note, but it's very fruity as well, but also chocolatey, peppery. But this is just kind of that all amped up and a little bit of a shift in flavor profile for me. All right, let's go to the RC6 now. All right, the RC6 is just an absolute fruit bomb when you compare it to these two. This is like pear, apple. Again, you get those wheated bourbon flavor profiles. You really get the caramels, vanillas, that they're all there. Yeah, but there's still that nice spice that was in the RC6. You get that nice mix of sweet and spice as well. Let's go for a sip of the RC6. Yeah, completely different. This is an absolute fruit bomb. All I'm getting is pears, apples, peaches. Again, with the just lace with caramel and vanilla there. It's definitely brighter on the back end. The RC6 came in at 108.2, so it's a little bit lower than the Cask Strength Maker's 46, but still, drinks nice and easy. But man, this thing, I remember the first time I tried it, how fruit forward it was and how delicious it was. That combination of sweet and spice and fruitiness all together, I think made the RC6 just a hell of a release. Let's go back to the 46 Cask Strength. This might be the most oak forward release I've had from any Makers. There's a lot of oak presence, especially on the back end. Once you get past the sweetness, the fruit, the banana, the caramel, the rich caramels, the vanillas, the apricot, the peach, that all happens. Then on the back end, you just get this like tobacco, cinnamon, baking spice, and this really sharp oak note, which I don't think I've gotten on a Maker's, before. I mean, yeah, you have the private selects, and some do come in at a higher proof than this, but some of those have so many staves in them that mix up so many different flavors that it's kind of hard to get there. They're usually on the very sweet side, unless they're using kind of an all American oak type finish where you do get a big oak presence, but it's still a sweet oak. This I'm getting like some good age in here. So let's go for one last sip. So I think when you first start sipping this, I think the sweetness is all there. But the more you start sipping this, a lot of that French oak spice really starts to come through. You get the cinnamon, you get a little bit of tobacco, leather note. It's a little bit drier on the back end. It's definitely a little bit more of a flavor punch than the regular 46, but it's also different, I think, than the regular 46. The 46 is just chocolate, a little bit of cherry. Definitely you get your wheated bourbon notes here, but the limited edition 46, this is sweet, spicy, oaky. I'm really impressed with that one. I think makers did a great job with that release. All right, guys, so price for this, like I mentioned, is going to be around 60 bucks. Availability is going to be limited. This is a limited release. I know these have popped up in Virginia already. Starting to see them pop up in other states. I haven't seen them on secondary yet, but whatever state you're in, definitely keep an eye out. You know, Makers does have a good national distribution, so hopefully these will start hitting your area soon. All right, so for value, I think this is above average. I think the price is where it should be, but it's a Cask Strength wheated bourbon, which don't come around too often. You don't see a lot of them. Obviously, when you think wheated bourbon, immediately you think Weller or William LaRue Weller and how great those are. Some people even go as far as thinking Pappy Van Winkle. But this gives you the chance to get another Cask Strength wheated bourbon that are pretty hard to find at a good price these days. For 60 bucks, I think it's great. It can kind of take your attention away from trying to track down a Weller Full Proof, a William LaRue Weller, one of the Old Fitz decanters, which is a great wheater, but still those aren't even Cask Strength, and this is. So at 60 bucks, I think it's definitely an above average value. For a recommend, I say yes, absolutely. I think it's a great limited edition offering. I love the flavor profile in here. It's a little bit kind of off the beaten path than what I'm used to with Makers. I do love the fruitiness that comes in. There's a really interesting oak and tobacco presence that comes in on the back end. It's very buttery, very toffee on the front end. Very good balance of flavors. It was a little bit more oaky than I thought it was going to be. Now remember, this is an NAS, but they're believed to be around 6 years old for this bottle. But I don't think the oak was from really the age. I think it was more from those French oak staves and also being Cask Strength. I think when you compared it to the regular 46, the regular 46 just had some different flavors, I think, that were brought out from adding the water to it once it was proofed down. I think this just gives you a chance to have it at Cask Strength, try some different flavors coming out of those barrels, and I'm glad Maker's Mark did it, and I'm glad I was able to try it. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching this review for the limited edition Makers 46 Cask Strength. Starting to hit shelves now, so keep your eyes open. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button below. Please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, find me on Instagram and find me on Twitter. Always love talking to you guys. Let me know if you've had this, and as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. So cheers, and I'll see you next time on The Mash and Drum. Take care.